Hello and welcome to Mental Health and Motivation on Mondays. I am your small dose motivator, Tam Talk, here to bring you a small dose of motivation to get your week started. So on today's episode, I want to talk about the terms motivation and discipline. You know, I've been reading articles and I've also read posts, and I hear individuals mention how motivation isn't necessary. It really requires discipline. Motivation is not that important. Again, it requires discipline. And I'm not sure what context in which they were posting or stating when they made that post. I mean, I'm not trying to read the individual's backstory. But anyway, so I want to come on and just kind of bring a little insight into the terms motivation and discipline, and to let you see how they both work in tangent or in hand, right? And also just to provide some insight and meaning as to why, again, for motivation and discipline. Motivation has to do with your why, your reasoning behind reaching a particular goal. Why do you want to pursue a particular goal? Discipline has to do with the actual application or taking the steps to actually complete the motivation or the why, right? In order to reach your goal. So look at it from a mathematical formula such as motivation plus discipline equals goal reach, right? So again, motivation is your why. It's the reason why you do what you do. Discipline is the application or the steps that are taken to reach that particular goal. So without motivation, you'll just be doing unnecessary things or taking unnecessary steps because you have no purpose or no goal in mind. You're just randomly doing stuff. And the same with motivation. Motivation is just a thought. Without action, it's just a thought, right? So you need both. You need motivation and you need discipline. And so you have to be careful who you talk to, who you ask, or when you read particular articles and things as to what season is that individual in. Sometimes the individual could be in their season of motivation where they're trying to determine what their goals are, what their purpose or their reasoning is for pursuing a particular goal. And then others may be in a season where they're in their discipline, that they're in the season of applying the needed steps to reach their goal. And so we also need motivation because sometimes in that process of applying or taking the steps to reach our goal, sometimes we may lose focus of our why. And I'll repeat that. In the busyness of being disciplined or taking the steps to reach our goals, sometimes we lose the focus of our why. Why are we doing the things that we do, right? Is it because we want more money? Is it because we want to make the world a better place? Is it because we want to lose weight? Whatever that reasoning is, that is your motivation. So let's take, for example, you want to you want to lose 5 pounds, right? Okay, so yeah, you can say you want to lose 5 pounds. That's just like someone saying, I want to be rich, okay? But what steps do I need to take in order to reach that particular goal? Okay, so if you're going to lose 5 pounds, you have to exercise, right? And you may have to change up your diet. Depending on what it is that you eat, you may have to do, change up your diet. And so it requires a combination of probably both. And so that's the discipline. So you start exercising, you start, changing up your diet. That's your discipline. Your discipline is the application. Your motivation is the reason, right? Reason. Why do you want to lose 5 pounds? It could be health reasons. It could be, you want to look good, feel good. But the end goal is to lose 5 pounds. And the same could also be applied to, I'm going to say, entrepreneurship. Many think entrepreneurship is really is better, is bigger than being a full-time employee. And in actuality, it's somewhat the same. For example, the only difference is an employee gets paid on a consistent basis. An entrepreneur may or may not get paid. right? They may or may not be paid. Their pay is inconsistent. And so you have to be careful with that. And so if anybody needs motivation, it is an entrepreneur, because again, they're applying all these steps. They're doing all these tasks that they've been told that they need to do in order to become successful at entrepreneurship. And sometimes along the way, when they are doing multiple tasks to reach those goals, they forget their reasoning of why, or their why behind pursuing entrepreneurship. And sometimes we need to reflect back on, why are we doing this? Why are we going through this heartache? Why are we missing out on payments? Why are we going through all this? That's your motivation. Because sometimes if we're not careful, we get so caught up in the money part of it as an entrepreneur that we forget why. Sometimes our why may be, okay, this is going to help many people in this particular industry, right? And sometimes if we are not careful, because we see the blessing, and so we'll get financially blessed, right? And so all that other stuff that we want, the reason why we want to do what we do, goes out the window, and we start focusing on ourselves, right? And we want to be flashy. We want to show the world what we have, but along the way, we forget our why. And so we reach a certain status, we reach a certain level in that entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial journey that we may not be ready for that. And I'm kind of deviating into a whole nother episode, but anyway, I'm gonna pull it back. So I say all that to say that we need motivation, again, because motivation is our why. It is our reasoning. It keeps us it keeps us disciplined. It keeps us motivated. It keeps us going. It keeps us going. And discipline is the action or the application of the steps that are required to reach that end goal. And so one of the quotes that I love by one of my favorite motivators is Zig Ziglar, and he states, people often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. So yes, so just like bathing, you need to be motivated daily. When you get up, like I know a lot of people have Sunday blues. They, don't want to get up on Monday because they know they have a big week ahead. You need motivation. Again, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? That is motivation. The answer to your why is your motivation, right? And you have to do that every day to remind you as to why you're doing what you do. And the same for those who are on their spiritual journey. Jesus woke you up. So your day is to be of service to him, right? And you serve him by serving his people, by loving his people, right? That is a daily walk. So Jesus and God is your motivation. This is your motivation for doing what you do, right? As a Christian, as a believer. So if we're not careful, society or culture will take the two terms and try to play them against each other. And it shouldn't be, because they both work hand in hand. They work together. And again, depending on who you communicate with, that person may be in a season of needing motivation, and then the other person may be in a season of discipline. But keep in mind that they both work hand in hand. And that formula, again, is motivation plus discipline equals end goal. Again, motivation plus discipline equals end goal. So that's all that I have for this week's episode. And as always, remember, don't worry, be happy, be joyful, and I'm going to even add, be at peace. So until next time, I wish you all the best and have a blessed week. Toodles.